I'm going to get you to try and stop or at least slow down rotating your hips so you can hit the golf ball further. Now I know that goes against everything you're probably thinking, but stay tuned. This is why. If I only rotate from the top of the backswing and I get loads of speed but too much turn and the golf club gets stuck on the outside, we'll see that the golf club's path is out to win. We'll probably see an increased launch angle, and I think I'm going to suggest we'll probably see less distance. So that particular shot, I cut across it only by 0.3 degrees, so not the most amazing demonstration in the world, but the ball only carried 146 yards with a 7-iron. I had a lot more speed that would have encouraged the ball to go further had I been technically better in my golf swing. So as we get to the top of the backswing, now if I am able to concentrate on putting the right weight transference into my downswing, that should keep my path under control, but also that path wasn't so bad. Why did the ball go so short? Because it launched high. I want to see a more compressed ball flight. Because I was more on my trail foot, even though the golf club was going on the outside, I hit it from the lower grooves, which created more spin, higher launch and less distance. If I can optimize that speed with the correct angle of attack and the correct face angle at impact, we should see a jump in distance. So much more weight forward into that lead side. Straight away, 10 more yards of distance. An increased angle of attack, 6 on the down. The huge difference there was where my body weight was, and therefore, because of where my body weight was, the angle in which the golf club was able to come down and compress and hit the golf ball. I got more into my lead side, which helped me get some more shaft lean towards the target, whereas the first one I had more rotation, which kept my body back and encouraged the shaft to be leaning away from the target, which meant these bottom grooves got to the golf ball first, whereas on the second shot we got for these higher grooves, which meant I was able to compress and hit much. It just feels a million times better, but the better impact factors created 10 more yards of distance. Right, the beauty of technology nowadays, I can show you exactly where my body weight was and the difference on that second shot. I had my weight at impact 70% on my lead side. Okay, that's key to this, because on the shot before, if I go back, the shot before at impact, you'll find that I had a lot more weight on my right side. The complete opposite, in fact, 75% on my right foot and 68% of that into my heel. So I was a long, long way away from the golf ball, which, as I demonstrated, will tilt the club head or tilt the shaft away from the target and present those bottom two grooves. It'll give me fat shots, thin shots, top shots, and even on a half decent strike, a massive loss of distance. So the $1 million question is, how do we achieve that? How do we get the body weight 70% over to the lead side at impact, helping you control that transition, making the two work cohesively? And I'm glad you asked that question, because it's going to take time, it's going to take practice, but time is on our side. So what I want you to do, I want you to get the club, put it across the top of your shoulders. You could do this right now as I'm talking. You can do it at home, at the range, even on the golf course while you're playing, to kind of keep reimagining that movement pattern throughout your round of golf. So take your posture, take your setup. Now let's go to the top of the backswing, and I want my lead. I'm going to get my left hip over my left foot as my club head, which is on my right shoulder, starts to work down to my right toes. And I know it's on my right toes, so if I close my right eye, it's right over the top of my left foot. So my right shoulder is pointing more here as I've got my body weight across here. Now, the movement is different if you get that turn and slicey action, because the movement now goes from here and it goes there. So the golf club head is the shaft is parallel to the ground, and the club head is pointing over towards that wall. Whereas I want to get to the top of my backswing and I want my left hip to go over my left foot as my right shoulder gets the golf club pointing kind of somewhere in this region here between my foot and the golf ball, and somewhere in the middle there is perfect. So set up, swing up to the top, transfer the body weight, Now be careful not to transfer the body weight through the shoulders. You're going to transfer the body weight through the hips. So I often feel that my right knee pushes down towards my left heel. And in that way, I get the weight across to my lead side. I let it kind of separate away from my upper body. But also I feel that if this side moves under a bit more, this can go more over the top of my right foot. Now, we have to be also careful. This is going to be a long-term thing, because I think if you are suffering with that, you're not going to be too worried about this yet, but I'm going to mention it. The more we practice getting the club on the inside, the more we end up potentially getting stuck behind us. Now, like I said, if you're that player that goes over there, I'm not worried for you to be getting the golf club stuck on the inside yet. That will take a lot of practice, okay? That's why this movement drill is just perfect to get that feel that that left hip goes to the left side. Now my pressure, my body weight is on my left foot, but my shoulders are still maintaining their rotation around my spine. Because really that's all I'm doing. I'm just rotating my shoulders around my spine. I'm not making any different movements. I've got my posture in a position and I'm just turning around it. And the key thing here is that maybe you don't do that. You rotate around your spine going up, but then you start to come down with power and you try and come down fast and you snatch at it and the arms get involved and the hips get too fast in that rotation and we just lose coordination. And that's where these drills are perfect to bring you back into the right path. How you can then take this onto the driving range is you take your setup, 7-iron in hand, swing up to the top of your backswing. I just want to try and feel that the left hip goes over the left foot. And as you do so, you're just going to try and push your hands down in front of your right thigh. That means the club is now working in front of your body. So you're not getting the club out away from your body. You're bringing the golf club down in front of your body as your body weight moves into that lead side. And just hit balls. And this is the hardest thing I see amongst all of my students is asking them to hit golf balls at 30% power. Guys, you can't do it. Why? It should be technically easier. The only reason is because you've got the eagerness to try and hit a golf ball hard and you're just not used to it. When would you ever hit a 30% 7-iron? You just don't do it. So you have to really switch on your brain whilst trying to do this, because it just then gets you being able to feel and understand where the club's going better as you go through. And as you can see from my finish, I'm not rotating. I'm still just transferring the body weight as I come down. Transfer, turn, hit the golf ball nice and soft, nice and slow. Feel that sequencing better, and you will find the club higher positions on the club face for ball striking, and you will see a better, more consistent ball flight as well. And then in turn, you will get more distance because you're optimizing what you already do. And that is the key to this. Optimizing what you already do, not chasing the dream, okay? If you want some more transition videos that can kind of give you more specific drills to work, not worrying about your lower body, but just working about your upper body, there's some really good ones that I did, especially one with Pete Cowan where we talked about the spinning of the trail arm on the way down. And I've also done a separate video explaining that in a bit more detail for you to understand as well. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next golf lesson.